really good stocks. I buy.
Oh, somebody said, and that's so basically you're just paddling away, man. Like you're putting money into the stock market, holding, and like you said, like you never lose. A lot of people, they can't really grasp that concept because they lose so much because they're constantly buying stuff and just selling it.
Yes, you do have to fight, you're and that's where we kind of mentioned, the psychological side of it and kind of going against your own emotions. But I know today, for example, like, and they report next week, like I bought a couple shares of Chewy, and I don't know how they're going to do when they report earnings, but I like Chewy as a company, and that's the company that's like the Amazon of like dog food and pet snacks and different things like that. And I like them long term, so, just getting into the habit of being an investor and kind of starting to switch and shift your mindset in that state. And it gets much easier after a while because you kind of start to even gain more faith and you see things appreciate over time, more often than.
Yeah. And it's something that you can get in with a small amount of money. So, fractional shares, like we talked about fractional shares with the guys talking about dividends too. You don't have to. Yes, sir. And then, speaking of which, y'all definitely go back and watch that live. They talked about dividends. They have a book too that you can read on dividends. So somebody asked though, for I forget, what's the difference between swing and scalp trading? And then obviously there's another position too. So
there's day trading as well, and then there's leaps. But the difference in these positions are really the time frame around your trading plan. Typically, when somebody says they scalp something, they're buying it and they're selling it the same day within like 10 to 15 minutes, typically. When you talk about swing trading, I'm holding it for multiple trading sessions or at least more than a day. So if I buy something on Monday and I sell it on Tuesday or Wednesday, that's still technically a swing trade.
Yeah.
So the difference between, the vernacular and the terminology is really just your time frame, between when you enter and exit your trades.
Yeah. And then you get into those longer, those expiration dates is like insurance. So it's like the farther out the time or the expiration is, the more it's going to cost, but you're buying yourself more time. Like you said, that time is valuable.
Correct. Yep. I know we got into some leagues that are in the money or some long extended or longer swings on gold in like October of last year when I felt like it bottomed out. And we're in the money now. They don't expire until January 19th, I think, 2024. And for the people who were able to go in and purchase multiple contracts, maybe you sell the first one today, sell another one next month, sell another one in another couple months, and then, as you get closer to expiration and you kind of scale out of your position. And that's one way, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, you kind of reduce or mitigate your risk.
Mm-hmm. And with that gold, man, that could get real serious. It's like it could be a cheap contract that you're getting into, but like I've traded gold and like held it for a few days and gotten like 200%.
300%, yeah. Especially if the economy is down. Now, I think that, as far as the U.S. economy goes, my theory, one way we could fix inflation is to tie USD back to gold. Now, of course, that would make gold, go back up to like 36 to 40K an ounce. But, it would really do a lot to kind of temper or to, fight inflation would be to tie USD to like a tangible thing like gold.
All day. I mean, like historically when it was tied to gold, like even though there was still quote unquote recessions, it was not the type of recessions we're talking about today.
Exactly. It's one way to fight hyperinflation. And then, too, the U.S. has like energy issues, and that's why inflation wasn't as high under our previous president. He drilled oil, which is bad for the economy. But our inflation and the issues we're having now is, almost directly tied to energy and the cost of energy. Energy, lends itself to food, production, and every other sector in the economy. So, that's another solution.
Do you trade futures, by the way?
I do a little bit with futures. And I'll do it even too, like in the options market. Like we'll trade wheat futures. We do, like I mentioned, gold futures. Yeah, things of that nature. But I don't get too heavy in the futures. If I doing futures, I'm swinging things for a really long time. Like the euro, I would have took the downside on the euro, probably 2-3 months ago, and just held it, for a while.
So that just so y'all know, like anything you can think of, you can trade. So like
even water, like yeah, everything but air. You can kind of find a commodity or an idea that trades around it.
Yeah. So it's like it's all these contracts on, like you said, water, corn, wheat, oil. It's all out there. So like and then we talk about currency. Like that's when you get into the forex markets. You could trade the changing of currency and basically which one is which dollar is beating out the other currency. So
and you can even do some of that on the stock market. Like there's a options thing called FEZ, and it's the euro dollar. And, you can buy calls on that and take positions to kind of start to hedge around that also. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun, and it probably sounds a lot more complicated than it is, but it's really easy. I would say.
Yeah. And you don't have to spill this juice if you don't want to. I don't know if this is top secret, but what brokerages do you recommend people jump into?
My first love is E-Trade. I like E-Trade because it doesn't change colors. There's a social and a psychological thing attached to like opening up your brokerage and seeing red and your heart rate kind of increasing. And, so, I like E-Trade. I like TD Ameritrade as well as Fidelity. Personally, I have every brokerage, and depending on my strategy and what I'm doing and even who I'm trading with, will kind of dictate which brokerage I'm using.
And why is that?
Most of the people in my trading group, they prefer Robinhood. They like the interface. They find it to be easiest. Yeah. So when I'm trading with them, we family, like we all on Robinhood.
Right. We know how to make money on any platform, right?
Yeah, it's all the same. Every platform is all the same for me. I would just say that if you are trading on Robinhood, and just make sure you purchase Robinhood Gold so you have up to the minute real-time data. And also to Robinhood, I would say be careful with your spreads. They don't have market orders. Everything is a limit order. So, oftentimes too, their fees are kind of fixed into your spreads, where you'll see the difference in price between your bid and your ask could be like $5 or $6, where on other brokerages, it might be $1. So, kind of being aware of that. But Robinhood is cool too. And then Webull, when, we're getting into our day trading and do a little bit more there, they will have their cash accounts on Webull, so they're able to take more than 3 day trades and don't have to adhere to PDT. Right. And day trading,
So with that, because I know that might have been.
Yes, I'm sorry, that might have been a lot. Yeah.
PDT, talk about that.
So brokerages have rules when you have any type of margin or any type of instant deposits, anything of that nature, where you can only take 3 day trades in a 5-day period. And it's one way they say that they protect their customers. And, it is something that we adhere to, and something too where I'm trading on smaller accounts when I'm trading with the group. So we're kind of all playing on an even playing field and have the same rules and things attached to us. But it can be an obstacle in some ways, but there's ways to circumvent it as well. Because if you purchase the same contract, same expiration, same strike, it's still only one contract, and you can go in and out of it because it's still technically only one security. So, just having, I guess, some tips and tricks like that, rules of the game around that really help as well.
Yeah. That's once you get into trading, y'all, that's going to be major, because you're going to feel like, sometimes like, man, I can't get in another trade today. My account is locked. If I do, they're going to lock my account.
Yes. And I tell my guys, listen, if you close to PDT, skip this one. I even rate contracts, risk 1 through 5. I'll call certain things a lotto play where it's like, listen, this contract is $17. I'm willing to go for broke here. We going to